that being said, what would you say, what do fans of the comics have to look forward to in Batman Ninja, or what do you think they'll really like about Batman Ninja, even though it's in a different medium for them?
I would say the biggest thing is that Warner Brothers was very, very trusting with sort of the IP and character Batman to this production, and they really wanted the Japan team to make it very authentically anime, and trusted us to make it authentically Batman. So our job was really to make sure Batman felt like Batman, even in the context of this film, and that all the villains spoke like all the villains did, and they acted in a certain way, and there was sort of a Western narrative and character arcs that were sort of threaded throughout the story.
I think what Batman fans can look forward to is that it's like, we're expanding the mythology, right? We go back in time, we introduce all these things, and what I think was really awesome about this one is that it's not, we're not seeing Japan through the eyes of Batman, we're seeing Batman through the eyes of Japan. So we get a whole different lens on who the Batman character is, that's more culturally specific, but at the same time, brings up new challenges for him. And like in this one, we saw that, normally he's a leader, he's on his own. He's solitary, and then he kind of becomes a leader of this, he has these people following him, this ninja clan. So, it's a really different side of him, and then all the Robins, which is, amazing.
Yeah, that's true. There's a different shading to this Batman. I think he's more vulnerable than other Batmans. He actually screws up a lot, and he loses all his weapons right away. He gets tricked by a lot of people, and it isn't until he's sort of stripped of everything that he sort of has a big sort of crisis of conscience as to who is he, and then he realizes that he's actually the Batman and sort of the leader of this group, and he sort of finds strength in the people. In some ways, it's very Japanese. He's sort of he becomes like a Japanese hero, as opposed to being solitary. He sort of becomes a group to take down, the villains and stuff.
I think the one other thing is just to add on to that is in this one, they really play with that idea of would Batman ever really kill the Joker?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how close would they come? And I feel like this is one of the times that they almost come the closest. Not only attacking that issue directly, in a samurai sword fight. So I think that's a pretty awesome thing that you don't always get. Taking it to the brink like that.
How does it kind of feel to see your writing kind of mesh and meld with the visual portion? Kind of first seeing that, do you have a vision in your mind beforehand, or how does that
Oh, you know what? That's an interesting question. The anime process is completely the opposite of Western animation process. And so the anime process is completely visually driven. So it's like designs, characters, storyboards. I actually first learned about it because I was helping Miyazaki out on Spirited Away and watched that process firsthand, which it's basically very visually driven. He sort of has a loose idea of what the story is. You thumbnail it out, and then you kind of start animating. And you're like, whoa. And then you figure out what the characters are saying, and then you record the actors at the end. And so when people complain...
It's the manga process, coming from manga.
Right,
right. Where it's visual,
Yeah, and so I know there was anime purists who are like, oh, I only watched the Japanese sub version.
Yeah.
But it's well, I have news for you, that's dubbed as well, because they record the actors at the end, and the writing and dialogue come at the end because it's so visually driven, and there's visual jokes, visual moments, And so for us, we really let the visuals sort of lead us through the process.
Yeah. And what you get out of that is great collaboration, because it's there's some things that the artists think of. If you frame by frame in this piece, there's just a lot of love. There's just little details. Not just in the design, but then even big things are thought of by different people, like the director thinking of different sequences. It's this is how we want to end it. The ninja clan, and then putting the themes and stuff. There's a lot that goes into writing. You know what I mean? And then when you get to be a part of the process, there's contributions that everybody can make.
Right. And there's sort of general movements that we try to tease out in the storytelling. Batman doesn't really find himself until he's stripped of all the things that we think of him as Batman. And you also tap into Japanese Shintoism, because it sort of infuses everything that's done in Japan, which is sort of a nature worship of sorts. And so Batman loses his technology, and it isn't until he embraces nature and his natural self that he's able to defeat all the bad guys. the super robots are basically defeated by monkeys and bats, at the end. And then at the very end, after something that is so big, how do you distill it back down to like Joker and Batman? And it's just a samurai sword, a fight on a rooftop, and like these two guys going at it. And the big question is Batman going to kill the Joker, and will Joker kill the Batman? And it seems like the answer is yes for the Joker and no for the Batman.
In addition to that, we also have that great motif of transformation. It means it's like everybody kind of transforms. The Joker transforms, Batman transforms. You know what I mean? And then there's the transforming.
transform.
Exactly.
The art style transformed, and the robots transformed.
Yeah, different art styles, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 Catwoman designs.
Yeah, everybody gets back to, even the Joker gets back to nature. He becomes
Yes.
a farmer.
Yes.
So when it comes to if Batman's gonna kill Joker, or Joker's gonna kill Batman, how much freedom did you have to mess around with that part?
Well, I think that, brand-wise, I don't think they would ever go over the top and actually do that. Because obviously when we did not we did, but the Death of Superman was like a big thing, and that's like a huge reset.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that they looked at it that way. I think they looked at it as more like, expanding the world and like really, making a Batman that would be appeal to the Japanese audience kind of first in a weird way. And then, and so we're lucky enough to get it, and we're lucky enough to bring it here.
I mean, personally, I feel like Batman would never kill the Joker. He might get super, super close, and that's something that we really like in this. That there's like a couple fake outs, and there was that moment at the end, spoilers for people, that when he lets go of him, and you're like, oh my god, he did it, and then he saves him. But I think the Joker would kill the Batman, and then he would regret it. Personally,
Have his phone anymore.
like he'd be really pissed that he did it.
So we gotta go.
Right, thank you guys.
Thank you.